Hi guys, welcome to the Mentor Boy Child conversation. So great to have you here. I'm inspired by the notion that in trying to redress the imbalances of the past, we have somewhat neglected the boy child. And that's why I think there's a reason for existence for an organization like Mentor Boy Child.
Right.
And I'd like to know why you guys are here. And maybe a good place to start with the co-founder, Mpho. Why are you here?
There's a lot of single mothers raising boys who literally would do with trying to understand what their boys are going through. It's very important for boys to also be aware of what goes around taking care of a healthy masculinity. And it's important for us to impart, I'm not going to say knowledge or wisdom, but our experiences to the upcoming generation.
For me, it's an easy thing to be a part of if you're aware of the society and the community that you live in, right? I became a lot more exposed to the need for healthy role modeling for the masculine and men when I came into full care of my nephew, who was a teenager at the time. And I remember thinking of all the things I could provide in terms of a physical structure for him. My biggest fear, knowing how his world had just changed, losing a father, was who's going to do that?
Unfortunately, you've got a lot of these young boys who don't know what they don't know. And I just want to bring you in, Khomotso. I've mentored you for 7 years. And we've seen your journey, become inspiring for other people. As a mentee, how do you think we can ensure that a lot more young men see the need for them to be mentored by someone?
I think it's firstly about acknowledging that as a person, you want to see yourself grow. So I think it's indicative on all of us to say that if you want to grow as a person, you need to always be seeking, people that are progressive around you.
What I do like what Khomotso has said is also been my own personal challenges. We've gone through the journey of preparing the launch of Mentor Boy Child. And Gugu is actually the one who's brought it up in a lot of our meetings. And that is, you can't make the young people want it. They gotta want it for themselves. That's what Khomotso is saying.
To acknowledge that, I want to become a better person.
Right? Because all we can do is provide the platform, galvanize the mentors, set up the thing, and the thing is there for them. So in a way, we also need to accept that, not every young person out there wakes up every morning and wants to be the winner that Khomotso is, or has turned out to be. But for those who do, there should be a way to do it.
So it feels to me there is a burning platform. You have a society that is in deficit of men who are playing a meaningful role and are making an impact not just for themselves, they want to see others thrive and with lives to be better. And then you've got these mentors, potentially, not always, potentially, some of whom do not reside in the same domicile as the potential mentees. And by the way, even in the townships and villages, there are people who are potential mentors. It feels to me that this is where Mentor Boy Child comes in. It's where we say we want to make young men become better men for society.
I see even the first, cohort of boys that we can access and impact and influence become that spark. Because I think even for Khomotso to be willing and wanting and searching was a spark. There's a peer who does better and you're thinking, surely there's something. So what we just want to ignite is that flame, the thing that starts, even if it's with 100 boys, and those boys become good role models themselves while they're part of this, and someone else goes, I should want better for myself.
There's just a ripple effect that takes place in, people inspiring each other. You don't know through your inspiring me how that is actually going to impact on somebody else.
Andile, where do we start? And how does Mentor Boy Child hope to approach this humongous challenge? Where do we start?
So very simply, where we're going to start, what the vision is to be a curated platform for the boy child who needs mentorship and the men that are out there in society that fulfill all of our requirements, that go through our rigorous process and eventually qualify to be a mentor in the program. And as technology has helped us think through business models differently, this is what you would call a typical platform business, right? Where you're matching supply with demand. So there's more than enough boy children in our own country that would love this kind of mentorship. Here's a good example of one. I'm not sure if he's a boy child anymore though. But I think he's graduated into that second layer, right? He's gonna be an alumni. So it's a very simple thing. So we're using technology to create this platform that is obviously has to have governance because of safety concerns. Unfortunately, not everybody that will pick up their hand means well. We need a proper system to make sure that only the deserving people are put in front of our boy children. And then, of course, the young people, back to the point that was made earlier by Khumbudzo, they gotta want it.
So we've brought them together. We've identified through expert advice some of the interventions that we have to deploy and manifest. And those interventions are interventions that are meant to develop the intra-personality, make sure that people have the confidence, the esteem, and the ability to love themselves and have the confidence to face the world. And then it's the interpersonality that will give people the opportunity to be able to interface with the world around them. And then the last part of the curriculum is the skills development, which is then empowering them with skills like entrepreneurship to be able to make meaning of their lives and their ambitions to be able to succeed. I mean, that's an incredible value chain.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And curriculum. What does that future look like? What is a picture of success?
The future for us is no boy child being left behind. And what it looks like is becoming not just platform and not just the face-to-face interaction, but being able to even leverage other organizations that can channel, for example, educational material, connections, in terms of helping the boys access whatever else they need within their lives.
Many people will say, I'm a believer in that at least, that societies that are successful or communities that are successful have social capital and economic capital.
Absolutely.
And often, we look at capital only economically, right? Money, equity. Very often, in your career projection, what's more important to you is the social capital, especially as a young man. That is the single most important thing. So for me, success looks like a young man who can stand proudly and say, I have social capital. I have a mentor, but every time I go to our mentorship hangouts, every quarter as we plan to have them, I'm able to hang out and chat to all the other mentors over tea or coffee. And then I meet other mentees that we're there with. And what happens is that over time, I build a social capital.
Personally, it's really about seeing families where males are leaders, as Andile said. And I'm very family orientated, so my wish is to see more families that are hopeful.
At the moment, you're definitely hitting the mark because you're creating a safe haven for the young boy child.
Fantastic.
How you feel?
Sounds beautiful. Look, I'm feeling scared.
That's good.
But in a positive way, because I realize the magnitude of what we're about to do and the difference we're going to make in society and the legacy we're going to leave. And that excites me.
Great stuff.